History is written in the light, but its deepest truths are often preserved in the shadows. Some stories were forgotten, some were erased, and some were never meant to be found. Welcome to the Tamas Archive. In the cold winter of 1763, a man whose personal fortune outweighed the entire British Empire stood on the freezing stone ramparts of Munger Fort. He stared down at the roaring waters of the Ganges, while an angry, bankrupt Nawab watched from behind. The banker was given no trial, no mercy. A sudden shove sent him through the air, crashing into the dark, muddy river below. The water swallowed his body and carried it away. When British forces took the fortress and marched on the man's headquarters, they moved straight for his legendary underground vaults. They breached the heavy doors, only to find the chambers empty. The treasury that once financed world wars had vanished, leaving a mystery that remains unsolved in the centuries since. To understand the scale of this loss, we have to look at Bengal in the early 1700s, then the richest province on earth. This economy was managed by the Jagat Seth family. The Mughal emperor granted them the title Banker of the World, formally recognizing their control over the regional money supply. They managed the imperial mint and held the exclusive right to collect imperial taxes. This chart shows the national debt of Great Britain compared to the estimated personal wealth of a single family member. They acted as the ultimate creditors to Europe, lending vast sums to the French, the Dutch, and the British East India Company. This financial leverage dictated local politics. Their influence was so pervasive that no Nawab could sit on the throne without the family's official signature. By holding the debts of both European empires and Indian royalty, they became the political puppeteers of the region. They controlled the capital that sustained kings, which eventually made their ledger a target for violence. Conflict began when the young Nawab, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, insulted the family and threatened to seize their treasury. The Jagat Seths retaliated by using their capital to change the destiny of India. The family began secretly financing the British East India Company, paying millions of gold coins directly to Robert Clive to orchestrate the Nawab's downfall. This funding bought the loyalty of Mir Jafar at the Battle of Plassey in 1757. The betrayal broke the backbone of Indian sovereignty and established British control. History records that the British won India because the House of Jagat Seth signed the check. Their gold proved more decisive than weaponry. A later ruler, Mir Qasim, was a fiercely independent leader who found himself bankrupt as the British drained his resources. Mir Qasim discovered that the leaders of the Jagat Seth family, Mahtab Rai and Swarup Chand, were operating as British spies inside his own court. The bankers were intentionally cutting off the Nawab's financial supplies to weaken him. Without access to his own wealth, Mir Qasim could not sustain a war against the British military. In a move to save his kingdom, he relocated his capital from Murshidabad to the fortified Munger fort in Bihar. Before he locked the gates of the fortress, he sent his elite guards to the banking house. They arrested the Jagat Seth leaders and dragged the creditors to the new capital. By October 1763, with British troops closing in, Mir Qasim realized a ransom would not guarantee his survival. He chose vengeance over mercy. The bankers had assumed their wealth made them untouchable. They failed to realize that an empire bought with money can still use violence to cancel its debts. After the execution, the primary British objective was the seizure of the Jagat Seth treasury. They expected to find mountain ridges of gold, boxes of emeralds, and the ledgers that recorded the debts of nations. When they finally breached the secret subterranean vaults, they found the rooms empty. One prominent theory suggests the family buried their wealth deep beneath the root systems of their palace gardens before the arrest. Another theory claims loyal servants threw the treasure into secret underwater wells connected to the Ganges to prevent the British from claiming it. The wealth was never recovered. The financial engine of colonization simply disappeared from history. History is written by the victors. The British took the country, and the Nawab took the bankers' lives, leaving their story to fade into the background of the colonial record. Stripped of the capital that once bought and sold empires, the surviving Jagat Seth family line faded into poverty. Today, their legacy is limited to ghost stories and the crumbling ruins of their mansions in Murshidabad. The Jagat Seths believed their gold made them masters of the world. In the end, their wealth bought them only a silent grave. The coins that once decided the fate of India remain lost beneath the shifting mud of the river. The truth waits for someone willing to search for it. Until the next forgotten mystery, the Tamas Archive, uncovering the unmanifested past, hidden histories, forgotten truths.